After One Piece 1154, Blackbeard vs. Ace might just be the most important fight in the entire series. Spoilers in 3, 2, now. Bro, this is literally a mini God Valley, the son of the Pirate King, Goldie Roger, throwing Logia dukes with the son of Roxy Xebec, the man who almost took over the world. Goldie Ace versus Rox D Teach. After reading that reveal, I knew we had to go back and talk about what it is now, without a doubt, the biggest legacy fight in all of One Piece. Analyze it with this story shifting reveal. The duel itself takes place on Bonnero Island, which itself resembles God Valley. I can't be the only one that notices those distinguished peaks, that symmetry. Ooh. Ace was hunting after Teach for a while after Blackbeard off-screened a Yonko commander in order to receive the Yami Yami no Mi, a fruit that he had his sights on for a while. So much so, he even memorized the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia to recognize the fruit on sight alone. I guess that's the only thing you can recognize it on, huh? But you get it. Possibly because it was what allowed his father to deal with the Admiral so easily. I know there's some low IQ individuals out there that are like, bro, what do you mean he totally had the Oppi no Mi? Look at the way his hands were pointing. Bro, I don't even gotta say anything, but I will. I mean, why would Kaido not know about Law's ability if his captain had it? Second, bro, he was just saying, I have two things to ask you. That's why he had his hands out like that. It's pretty simple. I think it's important to remember that at the time, the Admirals were the strongest naval force we knew of, and they all had Logias. Blackbeard had the perfect answer, and he still might, quite frankly. I think Rox used the Yami Yami no Mi and had the government so scared because that fruit, that darkness, can sap Imu's regeneration away. Think about it. Presumably, Imu's abilities are fruit related, so if Blackbeard can sap those powers away, those scraps shift dramatically. Think about how much the Holy Knights rely on that regeneration, and that's just gone, bro. Gunko got blown up by Usopp, like caught off guard, bro. Blackbeard might not have known why the Yami Yami no Mi itself was so important, but he knew that it was, and that's all that matters. Additionally, it is interesting to me that Blackbeard had originally wanted Straw Hat's head, possibly because he knew that another certain Monkey D attacked his family. Anyway, after hearing that reveal, Ace starts piping up defending his little brother, when Van Augur reveals the classic Blackbeard all-out attack. Unfortunately, Ace hasn't been already treated like a piñata by the Admiral, so he brushes it off rather easily. Even with the powers of Burgess on his side, Ace still deals with the underlings quickly, burning down the house and setting ablaze Blackbeard. Fortunately for him, Buddy remembers the classic rules of being on fire: stop, drop, and roll. Even in front of the man who killed one of his best friends, Ace is still farming. Buddy, if Akainu didn't penetrate the guts of Ace, brutally fist the fister, he might be renowned up there with Piccolo and
hot dog, taco, hamburger
as farmers. Get off your knees, please. Son of Roxy Xebec, and you look like you're a beggar, bro. Buddy. Anyway, then we get this monologue from Blackbeard about this fruit, and he specifically said he was biding his time looking for it, meaning that since the age of, 12? Goddamn, he was 12 here? Anyway, Teach is a year older than Shanks, meaning that he was born in the year 1484, and the God Valley incident took place only 2 years after that, in 1486. So assumedly, Teach was on Rox's ship and was left an orphan after the incident. So somewhere in that time, Blackbeard would learn of the Yami Yami no Mi, survive on his own without sleeping for 10 years until joining Whitebeard's crew. Now I think that Newgate knew of Teach's lineage. I've seen some people clown on him and be like, oh my god, how did he not know? But realistically, Whitebeard knew. I mean, that was his old captain. He could recognize the vibe or something at least. But due to his fatherly instincts, he would adopt him regardless, perhaps as a favor to his old captain, or just because he's a believer in no child left behind. At the end of the day, Teach knew of his lineage, his legacy, which is why he needed such a special Logia, the power of darkness to conquer the world. As to conquer the world, one would first have to rid it of its power and influence. The Yami Yami no Mi is the only power that can achieve that. Now, with Teach having officially revealed his true power to the son of the man who killed his father, it's time for the true battle to begin.
My body is darkness.
Teach begins with an incredible feat of absorbing the entire town, which is just that's kind of like insane, no? Week 3 or something of having this fruit, and while still being an absolute bum, he can do this. I know I meme about the whole land, sea, or off screen, always bet on Blackbeard, but there's definitely something he's hiding about this fruit. Also explains why he was able to beat Marco, Law, Hancock, and even a former Rocks pirate in Ochiko, which itself is a very minute detail that I don't see brought up too often. This was definitely Blackbeard going off about his new era he was so obsessed with. After having destroyed the town, Blackbeard would dispel the destruction, even calling his attack Liberation, which is obviously an utterly massive parallel to Luffy, the two fruits of liberation, liberation with the sun and liberation with darkness. Then after that incredible show of force, he goes and gets Firefly diffed by Ace. Bro, if my goat wasn't such a cocky bastard, he truly could have rid ourselves from the big-nosed bum. Why not just go and start throwing armament-coated dukes, buddy? Trust me, Blackbeard cannot box with you. Fat and slow with that beer gut, just start digging to the body, brother. Jab up top, right hook to the body, left hook to the body, cross up top, bro. Yes, exactly, just like that. Wait. No, Ace, that's what you were supposed. How are you going to let the big body dig to the body more than you? Then Blackbeard hits him with another vortex, just spamming that command grab. What a dunce, dude. Ace comes in for the counter with the St. Elmo's fire, but Blackbeard tanks that, eats it, and counters the counter with an insanely limp hammer fist. Like, how on earth did that work? Your body mechanics are not, you can't generate any force like that. I'm telling you, this dude is just built different. You can't do that. Unfortunately for Mr. BB, that St. Elmo's fire was tactical. Nipple diffing teach. Can you imagine being put into this position? Whoa, buddy. This is the second time in One Piece we've seen someone shoot something out of their nipples, by the way. Ace scopes up and goes for a crossfire, but the camera quickly cuts off screen, turning Blackbeard invincible to block the attack. Absolutely incredible tactical skills by a man with a plan. Fair play. Then, of course, when we cut back to Ace, is on his knees and Blackbeard is looking victorious in that goofy little stance of his. Though the two have just enough energy for their final attack, and Ace winds up a Great Flame Commandment, Flame Emperor, to attempt to take out the future Yonko. Fortunately, Teach cuts the camera, ultimately winning the duel for him. Then we get one of my favorite panels in One Piece, Ace's hat upside down, and yes, this may seem a little mundane, it's just very poetic, depicting the originally sad face now as a happy one and the originally chipper face as a downtrodden one. This is what we call visual storytelling or something. I actually don't know what to call it, but that sounded right, doesn't it?
Although no one realized it at the time, the duel at Banero Island that day was not merely a struggle between Whitebeard and Blackbeard. It was a catalyst. This was the beginning of a chain of events that would change the world.
Not only was this a trigger for the events to come, it was the ultimate culmination of everything that happened in God Valley, with both Goldie Ace and Rocksteady Teach creating their mini God Valley that would forever change the landscape of One Piece. So yeah, that's the video. If you enjoyed my color of mental illness, analyzing duels, scraps, battles, any of the types, let me know by subbing and you'll be rewarded with a Luffy vs Whitebeard video in your subscriber feed next week. See ya!